You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and repeat offender. Welcome back, Joe Ingram. How are you, buddy?
I am wonderful, Ron Siegel.
Glad to-
Life over here on this side of the microphone.
It's always a great day right here on Ron Siegel Radio. Hey, let me remind you, if you ever have any more finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And, of course, we are celebrating today National Lipid Day. I don't even know what that is. National Clean Up Your Room Day. My wife would say, I don't even know what that is. But that's a different story. That's 35 years, so I think she's kind of got a clue that, I'm where it lands is where it goes. You guys like that? Are you a clean freak, Joe, or are you a where it lands is where it goes person?
I am the clean person.
You're the clean one?
I'm the one that scoops everything off the floor and puts it where it's supposed to be.
Well, I put it where it's supposed to be,
right,
but that's where it landed.
The floor. Yeah, exactly.
Where it landed.
The chair, it's somewhere there. Yeah, exactly. No, I'm actually the one. There's a hamper for that, or there's a place for it somewhere.
Really?
Like when your wife goes through and picks up all that stuff?
Yeah,
it goes someplace.
Really?
Yes. It's not magically ended up back in the drawer. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I just thought somehow it got back to the drawer. I guess it's me. Clean up your room is not me. She even comes down to the studio once in a great while. She doesn't listen to us, but she comes down to the studio once in a great while. She says, when was the last time you threw that stuff away? I said, when was the last time you were here? Isn't that
It's a very true statement.
Okay. Also, we have National Shrimp Day. Now, as you know, I have beaten anorexia. And shrimp, I like shrimp. I'm a foodie. We share a lot of good stuff on our social channels. Joe, you know something? The first time in history, someone said Joe's a little quiet.
Isn't that amazing?
No one's ever said that before. So we gotta pull that mic up to Joe, and
Joe's a little quiet. There it is.
So
Joe will stay forward. I'm not the radio show guy, right? That's what it is.
Yeah, something you're on every day. So I mean,
It's true.
What do you do? I mean,
my microphone's turned up really loud.
Oh, okay.
Everything's in there. Yeah.
So
I can sit back in the back and go, yeah, I'm talking.
Yeah, and we do that on Ron Siegel Radio a lot. I get a lot of guests come in here and they'll lean back to speak, and Josh is like, "What the heck is wrong with these people?"
I know. And well, for the last two episodes, Ron keeps saying, "Well, you don't lick the microphone cover."
Right.
What are you doing? And I'm like, "Okay, stay back. Don't do it."
That was for 11 years. We used these other microphones, and you didn't have to eat them. You just had to be, in the same vicinity. And Josh got me on these good mics now, and you don't have to eat them, but you got to be close to them. So I
get it.
What am I going to do? It's a learning curve, and I'm too old to. This dog doesn't learn too many new tricks.
I'm sure most of the listeners are like, "It's okay. Leave him quiet.
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of like being married. Dow Jones Industrial Average now is down 124 points. It was up all morning. The S&P 500 is down 344. The NASDAQ is up 49. Oil prices are down $3.68 a barrel. But there are 3 states out of, let's see, I think that the last I checked, there was 50 states. I think Mr. Obama said at one time there was 58, but I'm not sure. But there are 3 states now in the union that actually have gasoline prices over $5 a gallon. Josh is one of them at $5.12 a gallon. The oil-producing state of Hawaii at $5.28 a gallon. And the formerly Golden State getting closer and closer, but we're at $5.83 a gallon.
I paid $6.49 a gallon. Where do I need to drive for the extra $1 a gallon? That would have saved me $14 today.
14 today? Really?
Yeah, 14 gallons to put in the car for $89.
Unbelievable. I think the last time I got gas over the weekend, it was $5.49 at Costco in Yorba Linda.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so and that was for premium too. So that was, I can't complain too much, but then I look and I see, okay, Jody, the queen of our team, $4.66 a gallon in Arizona. And our Lori, our tremendous underwriter, Lori, just for the first time got over $4 a gallon, $4.01 a gallon in Louisiana. Elections have consequences.
What's Texas?
What's Texas? Texas at $3.99 and a half.
Nice. The rental car will get filled up with some good stuff there.
Yeah, you're in Texas down there. They're still in the lower part of as far as gasoline prices. And, it's kind of funny how they have this here because I'm looking at this chart and I think it's a little backwards. And for those of you that want to know what is my source, because I have that every once in a while, this is from AAA. They have the blue states are the states with cheaper gasoline and the red states are expensive. I think that might be backwards, but that might be a whole different story. What's driving all these markets? Well, 10-year Treasury down 13 basis points today. 2.946 is the 10-year Treasury. That's going to tell us that interest rates are getting a little bit better. But the housing market, we're starting to see that shift that I told you about. We've been talking about it. What is the shift? Does it mean housing prices are going down? Absolutely not. Does it mean housing prices will be going down in the future? Absolutely not. What it really means is the pace of appreciation is slowing. And being that we've got Joe Ingram, our car guy, what was that guy's name that used to be the car guy on radio all the time? Hey, a great show. I didn't understand anything he said because all I know is how to turn the car on. And when I got my last car, I didn't even know how to do that. So that was a big issue. But what was that car guy's name? But it's kind of like that. I use the car analogy. So if you're going down the freeway at 70 miles an hour, yes, I am old. So yes, I still drive at 70. I'm the guy that's the slow guy in the fast lane. So if you're driving down the freeway at 70 miles an hour and you take your foot off the gas, that does not mean you're going backwards. That just means you're going to unless you've got what's that other thing that the cruise control.
Yeah.
Right. Unless the cruise control's on. So it doesn't mean you're going backwards. It just means you're not going quite as fast forward. That's what's going to happen in the housing market. So instead of going at 20% appreciation, maybe we'll get back down to 10%, which is still more than we really want it to be. That's what's going to happen in the housing market. That's what's going on right now. It's going to continue that way for a while because we have no supply. Now, I did notice that we did get a bit more houses coming on the market this last week. Yes, I am a nerd. I watch the housing market. I watch the numbers all the time. So we had a bit more, about 4% more houses coming on the market this last week. And the number of houses coming on the market going immediately under contract. That means somebody had a clue up front, right? So that number is actually decreasing as a percentage. It was about 30%. Now it's about 27% of the houses that come on the market are already sold. So starting to feel a little bit of those interest rates going. We're going to talk more with Joe Ingram about a lot of stuff today, but he's a car guy and does a lot of other things. What, do interest rates affect the car market? We'll chat about that. How can you reach more people? Well, that's what Joe does. He he reaches out and touches somebody. What was that? That was
It was a restraining order. That's what they call that.
Oh, that was a restraining order. Okay. Okay. Now you're going back into your Johnny Depp stuff again.
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing?
Exactly.
Will home prices fall this year? I think I answered that. That's a problem. What are the experts going to say? Which debt should you pay off first? All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is, you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit RonSiegelRadio.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at RonSiegelRadio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by by Geneva Financial. Oh, you got to love it. It's brought to you by Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. So what's happening in the mortgage world? Well, watching that 10-year treasury. That's one of the things that we do all the time is watch the 10-year treasury, because that is the leading indicator for what's going to happen in the mortgage world. Now, mortgages are only driven by mortgage-backed securities, and OBMMI provides the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgages. Thank you for the compliance issues. 5.584 is what the loans locked for yesterday. 5.584, down just a slight bit. But you remember, I've been telling you right along, 3.409 is where we were January 3rd, 3.409. So about almost 2.25 points higher right now on the interest rate side. Does that mean you should not get a new home loan? Of course not.
No.
That's driven by what your situation in life is. Do you need a bigger house? Do you need to add a pool, do some remodeling? Are you getting married, getting divorced? Maybe dealing with probate? People buy houses based on life events. That's why we buy a house. Now, the flip side, Rate and term refinance, probably not going to be an issue right now, but what if you have a lot of debt? And I've told you this before, get rid of the debt now. I've got a blended rate calculator. You put in the rate of all of your debts, including the amount, so it's a weighted average, and find out what your blended household interest rate is. If you've got equity, now is the time to take care of that, because we will be going into a recession within the next 12 months. Here's the latest statistic. Whenever you see a negative GDP, which we had last quarter, down 1.4%, 75% of the time it's followed by a second negative GDP quarter. What does two GDP quarters, negative GDP quarters mean? That's one of the definitions of a recession. So we may already be in the recession. We don't find that out for about 3 months after the second quarter that we're in there. We may already be there. But what happens to real estate values during a recession? They go up. What happens to interest rates during a recession? They go down. So if you take your cash out refinance right now, cash out refinances always have an extra charge to them because it's cash out. So it's going to be an extra eighth or quarter higher than market rate. Why do I say do it now? Well, because then you're ready for the next, when we get to the lower prices, which you're going to keep longer term, you've already tapped out of that. So you wait 6 months. Once the rates start coming down, it might be 6, 12, 18 months. When the rates come down, that's when you restructure a second time and get a long-term lower rate. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Joe Ingram is in the house. Ingram Interactive. And if you're not following Joe on the social channels, you should be. He's pretty active there. And some of the things that Joe shares are very entertaining.
I try. Because if you're going to get on social media, isn't the point to actually entertain yourself?
Exactly.
You're trying to kill some time somewhere. Yeah.
For the most part, I mean, most people get on social media and they think that, oh, I've got 100,000 followers. Good. What is that doing for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's your world.
Yeah.
Right?
I love the fact that if there's somebody out there listening to you, you should be able to profit from it.
Right.
And so, but for me, the answer is do what? Entertain. And if you can entertain and drop something in that's going to cause more people to look at you or to share your information, then somebody's going to come back. And again, the quality of your message determines how many eyeballs or ears are going to be listening to you.
So how do I determine what's quality? Because isn't that based on whatever somebody else's perceives?
Absolutely. But the answer is that do you believe you gave your opinion to the best of your ability? And yes, I know Ron Siegel radio. Yeah, Ron gives his opinion regardless of retribution that's coming
right.
back. Yeah, exactly. And so again, what's the answer? Find your tribe. Find the tribe. And so when you go out there and you say something, right? How did Howard Stern get so big? Because he said stuff that was shocking and the people that hated him wanted to listen more.
Right, exactly.
Totally counterintuitive. The people that loved him and were there, but there was more people that hated him that listened to him for what reason? I wanted to see what he was going to say next.
They also didn't want to admit they were listening to him.
Absolutely. But how could you be so angry about something that he said if you weren't listening?
Right.
And that's what I look at and say, again, get out there, speak your truth, say who you are. And the people that like you will like you. The people that hate you. Guess what? The people that hate you, they're going to hate you no matter what, even if you were putting on something that wasn't you, because if you did that, they would go, I can tell he's being phony.
But you know something, I'm going to ask that question to you then, Joe, because one of the things I find is there's quite a few people, and I've read, I don't know Howard Stern, I've read this about Howard Stern, that if you were to meet him on the street, he's totally shy, quiet, and introverted.
Yeah.
Does that make him phony on radio, or does that just because that's his entertainment persona?
Well, it could be his entertainment persona, or that's where he feels the most comfortable. So when
that's his safe space.
When he gets behind that and he puts the headphones on and he puts the microphone on, he's free to be him. Where if he's out in public, he may not be. I'm very introverted. And so I figured out a long time ago, it doesn't pay well.
There you go.
And so then the answer was, how do I adapt my personality so that it could be heard by more people.
That's why I do radio.
Right.
Legitimately. I mean, 12 years ago when I started doing radio, I had people that would say to me all the time, so how could you be an introvert and talk to thousands, tens of thousands, 100,000 people on radio? And I said, well, I'm sitting in a studio. There's generally one or two people in the studio. And when the first day I started, now, if those of you that are old like me will remember this, but I said, well, I've only got 7 listeners, right? That was Rick Dees's line
Right.
way
Yep.
back when, right?
I didn't want to
listeners.
upset all 7.
Yeah, don't want to upset all 7. And one of them is my wife, and one used to be my mom, but she's not with us anymore, right? So maybe I have 6 listeners.
Right.
Haven't picked up any extras, but that was kind of the safety net,
Right.
but you have to get out and still, you have to get out and meet the people. So
Of
how
course,
do you
but again, what's the hardest thing for an introvert to do?
meet the people?
Meet the people, come out and say, I'm going to venture outward.
Right.
But if in this studio that we're sitting in, which again, guys, it's really nice, but it's not a huge monster, 3,000 square foot studio
Right.
where I can ignore him.
That's right.
And not do it. So when you look at that, what is it? The introvert got comfortable in a confined space, got to be himself and drop the guard. And then what happens? Now you can go meet people because you're going from radio to actual social meeting.
And that's the key right there, because more often than not, when I go someplace, now don't get upset when I say this and don't get upset when you see me, but I am like one of the world's worst people at remembering faces. My wife is great at it. I'm not that good, right? But I walk out into a social setting, and because of our social presence, because of our radio presence, people know me, or they think they know me, right? So it's more comfortable then, because it's not a cold interaction.
Correct. And so like one of my sales tactics is assumed rapport.
Okay.
They've watched you, listened to you, and gotten counsel from you. So they assume there's already a rapport going back the other way. To you, you don't know who they are. It was just a camera and a microphone you were talking to. To them, they're like, oh my gosh, that's right. At 5%, I can get all my debt, keep it for 6 months, and then go when the rates drop. That right there could change someone's life.
Right, exactly.
And go, instead of paying 15, 18, 20% on a credit card, if you can get it at 5% until you can get it at 2% over long term, hey, just don't rack up the bill afterwards.
And there's a lot of people that do that, but you're right. That's exactly the
And I'm not a financial advisor.
Yeah, but he does play one on TV.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so we've got April's an introverted as well. And okay, so April's trying these things. I'm glad to hear that you're trying that, because the whole idea is to come out to learn more, to become better.
Well, so again, there's a whole bunch of people that are introverted.
Right.
The extroverts are the ones most publicly seen. So social media allows us to go out into the world in a safe environment before we ever make that let's meet in person.
Is that good or bad though, Joe, especially in this day and age? Because some of us are out there trying to put good things out there in social media, but there's people out there in social media that are saying things that they wouldn't get caught dead saying if they were face to face.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But again, that depends on, this person is sitting in the, in their basement.
Right.
That's how we call them, right? The basement dwellers that are sitting down saying, I feel safe to say this because I'll never run into you. Those people I don't want to run into in real life either.
Right.
Okay. Because they're going to bring out the bad part of me.
Sure.
And so I don't want to run into them. So I want to establish relationships through social media that we could then make it an actual social meeting where we've already got the awkwardness out of the way because we were both free to be ourselves in there, right? Like a lot of the celebrities that are out there, they're like, oh yeah, I go speak to thousands of people and stuff. You know what you can do? DM them on whatever social media platform they're on and see if they answer back.
Then you know if they're just out there just trying to fatten their ego,
right?
Or if they're looking to
care.
be generally care.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's some that you and I know that are out there and that are both ways.
Yeah.
Right. Because you know that you can send them a message on a social channel and they're going to respond.
Absolutely. And it's going to be them, not the team.
Right.
Right. And what I enjoy most is when the person answers back and goes, I'm actually running this person's channel for them. And it's like, okay, great. Well, get this info over to them and let's have them reach out.
Right.
And then they go like, oh, okay, I can do that. But yeah, so sometimes you run into a celebrity and they haven't logged into that account in forever. There's a whole team that does it.
I have an Instagram account. Really?
Yes. Wow.
That's surprise. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, how can you reach more people and then maybe monetize that reach? We're going to get some insight from Joe Ingram. Will home prices fall this year? We'll look at what the experts have to say. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at ronsiegelradio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452. You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals. Visit rsrhomescout.com. rsrhomescout.com. Best service out there, not just because we give it to you as a gift. You pay nothing for it, so that makes it good in itself because it costs you nothing. But you're going to find out exactly what your home is worth. Fourth tab over. If you're shopping for a new house, you can actually look and see 97% of the country what houses are on the market, and you can set up a search for everything new that comes on the market right there. That's on the first tab. No obligation and no advertising on the site. So all you have to do is just visit rsrhomescout.com. Will home prices fall this year? Here's what the experts say. Many people are wondering, will home prices fall this year? Whether you're a potential home buyer, seller, or both, the answer to this question matters for you. Let's break down what's happening with home prices, where experts say they're headed, and how this impacts your home ownership goals. What's happening with home prices? Home prices have seen 121 consecutive months of year-over-year increases. That's according to CoreLogic. And they say, quote, price appreciation averaged 15% for the full year of 2021, up from 2020 full year average of 6%, unquote. So why are prices climbing so much? It's because there are more buyers than there are homes for sale. This imbalance is expected to maintain that upward pressure on home prices because homes for sale are a hot commodity in today's low inventory housing market. Where do the experts say we're going to go from here? Experts say the housing market is not set up for a price decline due to that ongoing imbalance between supply and demand. In the latest home price forecasts for 2022, Josh is showing that to you on the screen right now. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our social channels, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, home price forecast for 2022, average of all 7 of them that are on the screen, 9%. And I like, personally, the home price expectation survey. That's right there in the middle. And they're saying 9%. Isn't that a surprise? Right? Why do I like home price expectation survey? It's 100 economists going and giving us their 100, at least 100 economists, giving us their forecasting. You get that many people that are supposed to be smart guys and gals, you get a better chance of being more accurate. That's why I like looking at that home price expectation survey. While the experts are forecasting more moderate price appreciation in 2022, projections show price gains will remain strong throughout the year. First American explains it like this, quote, while house price growth is expected to moderate from the rapid pace of 2021, strong homebuyer demand against a backdrop of historically tight inventory of homes for sale will likely keep appreciation positive in the coming year, unquote. What does this mean for you? The biggest takeaway is that none of the experts are projecting depreciation. If you are a homeowner thinking about selling, the higher price appreciation over the last 2 years has been great for your home's value, but it's also something you should factor in when planning your next steps. If you'll also be buying a home after selling your current house, yeah, you might want somewhere to live after you sell the house. You shouldn't wait for prices to fall. Waiting will only cost you more in the long run because climbing mortgage rates and rising home prices will have an impact on your next home purchase. Freddie Mac, here's their quote. If you're thinking about waiting until next year and that maybe rates are higher, but you'll get a deal on prices, well, that's risky. It may be more advantageous to purchase this year relative to waiting until 2023. Think about this. I don't get that thought. If your prices are going up, let's say 10%, and you buy a $500,000 house. I know the median price in Orange County, California is over $1 million, but just say $500,000, the math is easy, and prices do go up that 9% that they're forecasting. That's $45,000 in appreciation. And you might wait to get the interest a little bit lower. Does that make any sense? Restructure the loan for $3,000. And you've come out net, I think if my math is right, that benefits you by about $42,000. Think about that. That's the Real-Time Real Estate segment brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomescout.com. Get all the information you want about the properties you're looking at and the properties you own or rent. Great, great tool. Teodora, you must know Joe, because when have you ever known Joe to be serious?
Yes, Teodora is amazing.
So she wants to know why you're so serious.
Yes, I'm being respectful and quiet. It's completely uncharacteristic of me, but he's got so much good information he's trying to get out there. And if I just keep interrupting with him, right? Now, Teodora, if I was typing from my phone, I would be throwing all the funny comments in because I could do that really well on live streams.
And some of us do that because whenever I jump on Joe's calls,
he does. Yes,
he's got me listed down there. He puts a tag in there.
Yeah,
heckler number 1.
Right. Yeah, it comes up problem child every time he says something on our side of StreamYard. Yes,
yeah, absolutely. So I guess we should start off, Joe. How do we reach more people? How do we get to more people? That's we'll start there, and then we'll say, okay, how do we make some money once we do that? If that's our goal.
Right. And so again, sometimes the goal is just having an established relationship, friendship, things along those lines, right? Because that's what social media is defined as. So for me, I took it one step further. So I partnered up with Amy Lee Westervelt. She's been a guest here on the show. And then Lee Duke as well. And so what we put together, it's called Club Connect. So we're playing a game with Connect.
Okay.
Right? So it's Club KNEXT.com. So on that site, it explains this is what we're doing and this is what we're trying to accomplish. The nutshell is this. You need to put people on social media that are in the same local area. And I know you understand this because you have many Facebook groups and things like that. And the reason we said Facebook was because the average person during the actual shutdowns of everything spend about 2 hours a day on social media looking for that interaction. They're looking for, can I make a connection with somebody?
Sure.
And so the first thing you have to do is establish a real connection and identify who it is you want to talk to before you can monetize them. And so that way you can get to the point of, I like this person. I know this. What is the know, like, trust?
Sure.
You got to go through that one to say,
Absolutely.
hey, this is what it is. So my 4 steps to the sale is you got to actually like me, to listen to me, then you can believe me, then you can buy from me.
Okay.
And that's going to come with repetition and come through. So when I look at that and say, okay, if this is what people have to go through, that's the same thing you went through when you determined your best friend.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Same thing you did when you determined that you decided to marry Mindy.
Right.
Right? You go, okay, hey, guess what? I went through this one here. I like.
I'm not sure she still likes me anymore. But
No, because she listened too much.
Exactly.
Right, on the second step. So if you look at that, we want to put that together. But right now, I mean, how many friends do you have on Facebook that aren't in your local area?
Well, probably a lot.
A lot. And so we lack the ability to build our community together.
Sure.
And so what we were trying to do was say, how do I get from social media to social meeting? And that's where Club Connects was born, was we said, we can do this. But my answer is this, and I'm very selfish in the fact that the places I like to visit in my town, I would like to stay open.
That's nice. That's a
Okay.
good thought,
So
right?
to me, small business got really hurt.
Sure.
Over the last couple
and
years.
they're still getting hurt, right?
Yes. And so when you look at that, my answer is, hey, if I can put a group of people that are in the same local area into a group where they can do the, hey, let's feel out who's the right person to connect with, then they can say, let's go over to mom and pop, right? Coffee shop down the street, not necessarily a huge chain, and keep our own community alive and spend our money in our community.
Sure.
And that's what I look at there. And so in this process of putting everybody together in these groups, when you look at that, you start to build the community online. Then the people that help to moderate or to guide the groups end up becoming pseudo celebrities or people that you naturally say, so what do you do?
Sure.
Because how often does that come up?
Yeah.
Okay. When you're meeting people. And
we refer to them as digital mayors.
Nice. I like that.
Digital.
Yes. Yeah. We
one.
have community leaders. Is what we call them. So we say you're a community leader, which means what? You interact with people
As
more
long as
than
it's not a
anybody
community
else.
organizer, we're okay.
No, not at all. We're not going to do that. No burning books in the group. So when you look at that, that's my whole goal, was to say, let's put people in a room where they can say, an introvert can talk to an introvert, find out, because truly introverts can't find other introverts, right?
Right.
Let's all have a meeting at home. Right,
by ourselves.
And so
board meeting.
yeah,
It's
so
in the bathroom, in the mirror, looking at everyone else I want to talk to.
Exactly. And so the goal is what? Put it in a social media environment where you could venture out safely.
Sure.
Okay. Then agree to have that face-to-face meeting now that you've already met each other. You've already communicated back and forth.
And that's a lot of fun, because then you get the opportunity of helping other people. If that's your passion, it is one of mine.
Absolutely.
Right. I enjoy helping other people, and I'll talk to people all the time. Obviously, I think the number one item to talk about on social media is food.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So easy for me to talk about food.
Yeah. Well, my son
number two is
AJ has never had a meal he didn't take a picture of first.
Well, something,
Yeah.
I've been trying to do that more, because I notice a lot on our social channels, and I can help, like you just said, small businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things I have to be real careful of is restaurants and posting about restaurants. I'm going to tell you why you have to be real careful and follow a posting etiquette on restaurants. We're going to talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. More with Joe Ingram. Social etiquette. Is there an etiquette about posting about a restaurant? We're going to talk about that. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you tired of paying rent? Are you tired of paying someone else's mortgage? Do you know qualified folks can potentially purchase a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket? Ron Siegel can help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. If you're tired of paying someone else's mortgage, reach out to Ron today at RonIsMyLender.com. That's RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at ronsiegelradio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report, it's wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has these solutions for you. And as usual, when I get in these conversations with people that I really enjoy chatting with, we're not going to get to the story, Josh. But hey, I'm going to tell you right now, tomorrow, Todd Halterman is joining us. And when it comes to dealing with credit, how'd you like to have your 30-year home mortgage paid off in 10 years? We're going to talk the entire broadcast about that tomorrow with Todd Halterman, and might even help get your credit scores increased. That is the Your Credit Matters segment brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? Continue our conversation. Joe Ingram is in the house chatting about local, not loco. Joe and I might both be considered loco, but
which we're perfectly okay with.
Exactly.
Right? My slogan's never be normal because normal people get normal paychecks.
Right.
So
exactly.
I'll go with the loco all day long when
Exactly.
you're comparing me to normality. Yeah.
So one of the fun things that I have, Joe, and you said your son does this also, is I love going to restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
And two reasons that I like going to restaurants. Number one, I like to eat good food. Obviously, those of you that have met me, you know that I'm a little bit oversized. But
he's
the other
full figured.
Full figured. There you go. That's my investment. But here's the other thing is, I feel maybe I flatter myself, maybe not, but we speak to thousands and thousands of people every day. We get we're pushing 500,000 people on one of our Facebook page, Ron Siegel Radio. If you're not there, you should be. And I hope that if I share a good experience, it might bring a benefit to that restaurant or small business owner. And because they don't have the budget that, McDonald's has to advertise, or, I don't even know, Denny's or some of the other restaurants have for advertising.
Right. Nobody can afford to have, Justin Bieber sing their song.
Right. Exactly.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
So, maybe we can get our 15, 20, 30,000 people, and I'll share an experience. And I was going to share the etiquette, because this is something that I have learned, is food critics, the professional critics, are not supposed to post anything about a restaurant in the first 90 days.
Why?
Because give the restaurant a chance to get established and get the bugs worked out. Not the literal bugs.
Right, exactly.
Right?
We'll
But-
rephrase that
yeah.
to say, make sure all processes are running smoothly.
There you go.
Yes.
That's the better terminology, right? You're the wordsmith.
I
I'm just
know.
the guy that does
I'll play
radio,
with it. Yes, exactly.
right? But give them an opportunity to make sure that they've got their labor in order and they've got their service in order and they've got their preparation in the kitchen and everything else. Takes them a little bit of time. But I'll tell you this: I did go to a new restaurant. I don't know if is it Costa Mesa or Newport Beach, right there on Irvine and 17th and Westcliff.
Okay.
And it was called OEB Breakfast Company. They're only open till like 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, but they're breakfast and lunch place.
Nice.
They had it all mastered in 4 days.
That's fantastic.
Right?
But it's not. Is it their first location?
Well, it's a franchise,
Okay.
but this is the owners. This is their first OEB breakfast company.
Okay.
They've been in the restaurant business, but this is their
Okay.
first. I mean, the food portions are huge, which I like.
Of course.
They've got great selection, unique items, great. So I go and I share that out there and hopefully, because like you said, I'd like to see him stay in business.
Right. I mean, in Irvine, right? Everybody knows if you go to my Instagram page, you go into it and you're like, well, Joe has a whole highlight section just for one burger place.
Right.
Right.
The prime cut or cut.
The cut
The cut.
HCB, right? For handcrafted burgers. It's amazing. And it's funny because I'll have people that are coming from Vegas or people that are coming from Utah and they're like, hey, we're coming into California. What was the name of that burger place?
Exactly.
You posted that picture of the burger and blah, blah, blah. And again, it's about service, right?
Right.
More so. The waitress or the waiter determines how your food tastes. Right.
Sure.
So if they come out and they're sour, guess what happens to the food? You're like, you may give them a second chance later. You can go, okay, I'll try it again on a different shift.
Yeah.
Because I think the food was pretty good. But like Steve over there and Christina are fantastic. I don't even have to order anymore because I go so often.
Sure, they know you.
But to me, even during all that time when I made a conscious effort during, hey, guess what? We're locked down. I'm going to go pick up food. Just because I want to make sure they're there when we got out of it.
Sure, exactly.
And again, that to me says, let's take care of our local community first, and then we can go outward. But what if everybody took care of the local business in their community? What happens to the whole entire nation?
Everybody gets better.
Right. Exactly.
So now we started talking in the last segment about Club Connects.
Yes.
So if I join something like that, how do we also talked about, developing these relationships and then taking it to the next step. We can reach more people there because it is a group.
Right.
How do I make money at it? Or is it not meant for me to make money at it?
So it's meant for you to establish the first couple pieces of the sale.
Okay.
Right. And so that's the listen, the like and the listen. And then when they can get to the believe part, it naturally comes from sales. How many sales do you have just because you're out on the radio as a trusted source?
Sure.
People reach out to you and they're like, hey, I'm
Develops a
going to
little
go to
credibility.
RSR. Yeah. And so what it does is it puts it out there. Gary Vee taught everybody, give it all away for free. Wait till later to charge them.
Sure.
Okay. And so the answer is what? I have to give up something so that you can tell if we're on the same wavelength. So with Club Connects, we're nationwide. We have 168 Facebook groups across the nation.
Wow.
In all the major cities. Now we've only soft launched a couple of them. So we have a bunch of them. Everybody's just on the waiting list. They're like, they clicked, let me in. I want to join. And we're going to launch them off slowly. But we're launching them with our community leaders. So we talked about the mayor, right? The community leaders are going to be there because I don't want to, in the first 90 days, have all the bugs not worked out.
Sure.
So we're going to launch it with the teams that have the most potential to make it a successful launch so that the people who joined aren't frustrated.
Yeah, because it's pretty quick for them to jump out.
Yes, absolutely. They jump in a group, go, I don't know. Like, for example, thanks to Amy Lee Westervelt, everybody who comes in as a director level, which means they have multiple states to manage, those individuals have spent several hours with her understanding strategy for engagement.
Okay.
And so when we open the door,
What is engagement when we're on social media? What do you mean by engagement?
engagement, people liking, commenting,
Okay.
people actually saying, hey, I would like to share this out. And so are we putting in content that's relevant to the individuals that are within the local community? So who should be the one in there? The local community person,
Right.
right? Our community leaders live in the communities that they're at.
So you mean I can't get into the Washington group?
No.
Okay, there we go.
But it wouldn't make sense because, again, how can you foster that? Now, if you were, and again, this is way more than what we wanted on the radio, but if you come in and say, I would like to manage the groups across states, then you can be a trusted leader if you can work national, right?
Gotcha.
You're local and national. So that means if you were in charge of 3 or 4 states, which have their most largest cities all involved, then all of a sudden you look at it and go, okay, Ron can go in and share to all these people. Our director levels, sitting up with myself and the other 2 founders, we actually can say, if you want to advertise, like I have a friend in financial services. She goes, I have somebody in every state. Once everything is up and running, can I advertise through your groups? So that's how we would monetize to it.
Okay.
Right. As a company. But when you look and say, I want people to go to their local person, because I would love, if we're sitting here today and we go, hey, we can go over to a Starbucks, or we can go over to John and Debbie's coffee shop down the street, because we're done with the radio show. We're going to go and do that. Or you say, Joe, I'm down here in Newport. Let's go to OEB. Right. And I'll be like, hey, I'll meet you there.
Sure.
But we'll keep that business alive as opposed to necessarily like the Mimi's Cafe, or, who's still going to Arby's? I don't know.
I don't even know if there is an Arby's.
Yeah. There's a couple. Arby's just bought like A&W. They bought Jack in the Box. It's like, how did this happen? Yeah.
So when you're talking about local, you're talking about franchises or just the individual mom and pop standalone, or is it both?
I want to keep the community alive.
Okay.
So again, even if a franchise goes out of business, that hurts the community and where it is you're going to be able to go and do that. But what about the restaurant that's down the street? You can go to El Torito, which is corporate.
Sure.
Or you can go, like, there's a little Persian place by me, which is like House of Kebab.
Right.
And if you go there, the food's amazing. And I'm like, I would hate for them to go away, because then what do I have to go eat?
Sure. Exactly.
So keep the community strong.
You got to love that idea. And the more you do that, the more it's going to help whatever you do.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I just heard this the other day, that people say, well, I'm not a salesperson. Well, isn't everybody a salesperson?
Everybody's a salesperson. It's just whether you define yourself that way, and you don't have to. The answer is you have an opinion.
Right.
And everybody has an opinion. And somebody went, and I ate at the Cut. And I was like, wow, I should tell everybody. And I have people go, did you invest in this company? Are you part owner of this? I'm like, no, I'm just an avid believer.
They just give them free food.
Right. They come in, they're like, oh, go sit in the corner, right?
Yeah.
Take your pictures and go away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
They're fantastic. But when I look at that, right, the same thing happened. That you got an experience worth telling somebody about.
Well, we all talk about this. I often say that, what is the number? If I like something, I'm going to tell 3 people. And if I dislike it, I'm going to tell 10.
Right. Exactly. The whole point of Yelp is to complain.
Right. And my purpose, my belief is you don't usually see too many times I share a negative, because that doesn't benefit anybody.
Correct.
Right. I mean, it doesn't make me feel any better because I was able to put somebody else down. I wish more people would look at that way on social media.
Absolutely.
Right. Now, I do talk a little bit. I mean, we have to be real with people.
Right.
Right. Offline, if somebody says, hey, Ron, what did you think of XYZ restaurant? Offline, I might say, well, their service is a little slow or whatever. Right. But I'm not going to, there's no purpose in me putting that public.
Correct. There's no reason to go out of your way,
right,
to insult or to hurt or cause harm to a company. And that's what most people get the kick out of. Right?
Sure.
And so, but understand too, Ron, if you have a bad experience, what typically is the emotion you're feeling? Right? You get angry.
Right.
You get angry because I got mistreated, or this wasn't good and I paid money for it. Anger fuels you.
Sure.
Which means your thumbs can jump onto a site and go crazy.
Before I even think about it.
You're like, I got plenty of energy to do this. If you go have a great meal and a great experience, you're pretty chill.
Right.
Right. You're just sitting back on, this is great. And now you go, now I want to stop this great feeling so I can go type a good review.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, maybe do it in the morning.
Right. Wait till the next day, but still remember to do it.
So where can I find Club Connects now?
Club Connects. So we are all across the nation, but if you went to clubconnects.com,
okay,
and then the second tab at the top says find your group.
Find your group.
You click on it and a whole map of the United States comes up. You click on the state you're in, you find the city closest to you, click the button, and it launches you right over there and say join.
And then I find out whether I'm in a group that's launched or on a waiting list that you talked about.
Correct. And it says coming soon on there if you get there. So you know that you're waiting for it to launch so that we can properly launch it.
Well, you know something? I was number 377 or 377,000 for Truth Social.
Yes.
Right? Wait, the same concept.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
I don't know if you have 377,000 people waiting for you, but that's a different subject.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like one of the groups yesterday, you and I were talking off air, and somebody said, "Hey, I've invited people. I'm doing this. How big is the group?" And it's like, well, there's 10 people in the group, but there's 691 waiting to get in because we have not launched it. The 10 people are administrators.
There we go.
that are in there on purpose to make sure that all of the posts are set up. When you come in, you have a group that looks like it's open.
So they're just talking to each other.
Yeah. Well, right now they're just posting the comments that will cause engagement.
Gotcha.
And so
it's strategic. So if you want to get more information about Club Connects, clubconnects.com. Joe Ingram is the wizard, but he also does a lot of other things. So follow Joe on all the social channels. And as always, we ask you set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.